Hello and welcome back. Today marks the first episode that's not Ace and Vine. We're in Vegas during the World Series and playing some cash games. Maybe a tournament or two, but stay tuned. So if that interests you, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It may not take a lot from you guys, but it actually means a lot to me, so that'd be great if you did it. Let's go.
Good. What's up, guys? It's my first day in Vegas. I just got in a few hours ago. My buddies have been there for a few days, and one of them can't drive.
Oh my god.
So Oscar killed in his first, got a cash in his first tournament like ever in Vegas. Robert grinding, killing it. Got a final table chop back yesterday.
Back final table.
Yeah. And boss thinks he's nutted. We're out of the Venetian right now. Gonna go grind. Let's go kill it.
We find a 2-4 game that is running and decide to take a seat and buy in for 300. The first notable hand we go over is Queen Jack of Hearts in the cutoff. There are a couple of limpers, and I raise it up to 20 bucks, and probably should have done a bit more to account for them. Oh well, we're headed 4 ways into the flop. The flop is King 9-8 with 2 hearts and a diamond. It's a pretty monster flop for us. You got a flush draw and a straight draw, pretty much. It checks to me being the pre-flop raiser, and I decided on a sizing of 35, which is still on the lower side, but we still end up only with 1 caller, the player on the button, and we are headed heads up into the turn. The turn comes the 8 of clubs, pairing the board, and I decided on a check to see if I can get to hit my draw for free. The button doesn't really agree with that and bets a half-cocked $20. For that price, I'm not going anywhere, and I call. To be honest, that sizing just screams weakness, and I probably could have checked raise. But when the river comes to the 4 of hearts, I hit my card. I bet out for $60, and the button folds. So yeah, with that sizing, it kind of makes sense he wasn't very strong. And we scoop. The next hand we go over is I have King Jack offsuit in the cutoff. There are 2 limpers, and I raise it up to 25. Only the big blind calls, and the flop comes King 6-5. So it's a good flop for me, and potentially a good flop for the big blind. So when he donks leads for 30, I'm thinking he kind of hit it, so I call. And the turn is another 5. This time the big blind decides to check, and I bet 55. And the big blind folds. And just like that, we're off to a great start in Vegas. Booyah. This next one's a real fun one. I have King Queen offsuit in the small blind. There's 1 limper before the hijack raises it up to 20. The cutoff calls, I call in the small blind, but I'm pretty sure this should have been a raise here since I don't like the idea of playing this hand out of position as well as going multi-way. But that's not what we did, so oops. The big blind calls and +1's gonna call as well. We are headed 5 ways into the flop. The flop comes Queen 3 deuce with 2 spades and a club. I check to the pre-flop aggressor as does everyone else, and we're headed into the turn. The turn comes the 3 of hearts, and I check, as well as the big blind and +1. The hijack's gonna bet out for $25. The cutoff is gonna call, and I kind of like my spot here. I have top pair with a really good kicker. The board pairing doesn't threaten me too much. They're very low cards. So I think it's time to build this pot up. I raise it up to $80, and it's going to fold around to the cutoff, who calls. The river is the ace of spades, which I can't tell is a good card or a bad card because it severely decreases the amount of flush draws you could have with the ace X holdings. So I decide on a bet of $100, and cutoff is going to think about it before he calls and shows pocket queens. So he flopped the nuts, turned a boat, and slow played us this whole time. I asked him how he didn't re-raise me on the river, and I swear to God, he says he put me on pocket aces. So, damn, I feel like I lost the minimum there. After that little hiccup, I add on for $100 more and in for a total of $400. Before picking up pocket 4s on the button. +1 is going to raise it to 15, +2 is going to call, cutoff calls, and I'm getting the right price to set mine, so I call, small blind calls as well. And we are headed 5 ways into the flop. The flop comes 4, 6, 8 rainbow with 2 hearts and a diamond. We got bottom set in a multi-way pot, so I'm very excited. Better yet, small blind checks, plus one player is going to bet out $20, and it folds to the cutoff, raises to 100. So now I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to do next. There's a flush draw, a possible straight out there that's not very likely, and it's possible we ran into a bigger set. If we did, oh well, scared money don't make no money, and we decided to jam all in. It's gonna fold around to the cutoff, who's gonna tank for a bit. Actually, a good long while before he ends up making a crying call, it seems like. I tell him the bad news.
I got a set.
He looks slightly defeated and tells me I'm good, and we head into the turn. And the turn is a 2 of spades, and the river is a 6 of spades, giving us a boat. Cutoff shows pocket aces and frustration. He tried slow playing this and it cost him. Yeah, so don't do that. If he 3-bets us $80 pre-flop like he should have, I probably muck this hand and he probably wins. And instead, I scoop in a pretty decently sized pot. The next hand we pick up is the best hand ever in pocket aces on the button. Hijack limps, I make it 20. Big blind calls, and so does the hijack. We had 3 ways into the flop. The flop is absolutely disgusting. It's jack, 8, 10, all spades. I eagerly check this one back, hoping to see a better turn. Maybe I can do something with, but no, it's the 4th spade. It's the 4 spades. Hijack bets 35, and I don't want to play this hand anymore, and I quickly muck it. I think I might have been able to bet the flop because I do have the bigger spades in my range. But with only $20 invested, I was kind of fine with just checking this one back. If it was a 3-bet pot, that's probably how I would have played it. And next hand, we pick up those yiggities in +1, and I raise it up to $20 and get a single caller in the cutoff. The flop is 10-8-6 with 2 hearts and a diamond. I bet 30 and the cutoff quickly calls. This is a much better board for his calling range, so when the turn is another 8, I quickly check this one back, thinking I'm going to tread carefully here, and the cutoff bets out $60. I still have an overpair, so I decide to float here, which I still could have the best hand. The river is a 5 of spades, so I decided on another check with intentions of calling, but instead he checks back and shows pocket 9s, and we're good, and we scoop. Next hand we pick up is I have queen 10 of hearts in the hijack. Under the gun limps, and then I accidentally bet out a turn, but the low jack obliges and bets $20 for me anyways. So I call my own bet sizing, as does the under the gun player, so we're headed 3 ways into the flop. The flop comes queen 8-4 with 2 spades and a club. It checks to me, and I check because it's top pair, but it's not my favorite queen holding. So this is more for pot control purposes. The turn is a 2 of diamonds, and the under the gun player is going to bet 15. The low jack calls, and I decide on a call as well, because if I raise it up here, I'm only going to get called by better. And the river comes a 10 of diamonds, which is our gin card. Now we're beating any better queen or any overplay pair that they decided to slow play. So the low jack is going to check, as well as the under the gun player. So I decide on a bet of $65, and hopefully this looks like I'm trying to steal the pot. The under the gun player is going to fold, and then now it's on the low jack, who's going to tank for eternity. Like, actually, I think it took like 3 minutes. Eventually, he ends up on a call. We're going to show our 2 pair, and we're good. So we scoop another one. We got a couple more to go over. Next one, we pick up pocket queens in the +1 position. I open to 20 and get 5 callers. Fuck. This is already a less than ideal situation. Flop isn't too bad though. It's 3 deuce with 2 diamonds and a heart. I bet out $60 and get 1 caller in the cutoff. His range can contain a lot of smaller pocket pairs, some overcards, and a few suited connectors and the whatnot. So when the turn comes the king of diamonds, it not only is an overcard to my pocket pair, but it also completes the flush draw. I decide to still bet out $75, and the cutoff is going to call. So at this point, I got alarm bells going off in my head. What could he have here? Yeah, like I said, there's an overcard, and the flush draw got there. So when the river comes the 7 of spades, I'm in check call mode because I'm not really too sure of what his holdings could be. The cutoff bet's on the bigger side, $130, and I've already come this far. I'm not folding, plus I'm curious, and there's always a chance that we're good here. So I make a crying call here, and he shows us not a king, not a flush, but 4 deuce offsuit for flop trips. So that king kind of probably ended up saving me some money, because I would have ended up firing on the river or raising him. Literally the next hand, the poker gods give us a rebate in pocket kings, the second best starting poker hand you can receive. I'm going to raise it up to $20, and I get a single caller in the button, which is much more manageable than the situation we found ourselves last time with a premium going 5 ways. That sucked. The flop comes 8-3 deuce rainbow. I bet 25, and the button calls. Turn is a 7 of hearts. I bet out 75, which is probably too much, but I'm still tilted from the last hand and I want to get my money back. And the button quickly folds, so we kind of screwed up here, but we're going to take it down. And this is going to be our last hand because shortly after we get popped by the floor and asked to stop filming. But luckily we got enough hands, so big dub.
Just finished up that session at 2-4. I ended up getting caught and having asked to stop filming, but thankfully I got enough content already. 2 hands. I don't know, I misplayed probably like 2 free hands. Played the other ones pretty well. Broke a losing streak that thankfully you guys don't really have to see because a lot of those times I wasn't filming. Yeah, kind of bummed. I probably could have played a little longer, but to be honest, I flew in this morning, barely got any sleep last night. I'm starving. So it's probably best that I just take my dub right here. I think I bought it in for 4, walked out for like 7.24. So I'll take it. Not a bad start to the trip. I'm only here for a couple days. We're doing a Euro trip after.
Thanks for watching. I had a lot of fun filming and playing in a different environment finally. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video too. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button and help me grow this little fledgling channel. I got one more episode coming out of Vegas and I might have leaked where I'm headed next. So stay tuned. And I'm excited to show you guys the next upcoming comment in a couple episodes. In the meantime, good luck at the tables. Unless you're an asshole, then get pelted. For the beast.